Hello, ladies and jelly spoons. Uh-oh. It would appear that I am not capturing my Photoshop screen. Let's try deleting it and adding a new one. Photoshop. As you can tell, I'm dealing with using um a new program to as my video capture program, and it is OBS Studio. I am used to using OBS Classic, but unfortunately, it's going to be discontinued, or support is going to be discontinued. So, the mighty Heifer, um, who is a gaming um, streamer, he recommended that I do OBS Studio. So, what am I doing today? I am going to be setting up some buttons so that I can print them out, which is going to involve me changing the lightness and setting up some templates, so that I can lighten things and whatnot. So when I print them out, I know exactly which version to be printing out, because I recently had a version that was I printed one out and it was either way too dark or way too light, and if I did a more gradual array and printed them out on one page, I would have said, okay, it's version number 5. That's the one that I want. And I didn't do it that way. And now I regret it because it cost me money to print out, to no avail, and lots of time to punch all the graphics out and whatnot. So my company is called Big Red Button, and I design pin back buttons, and I do and it's a 2.2 button. Um, I've been doing it for a few years now, and I really enjoy it. A lot of people like my stuff, so I'm going to continue to do it. Hey, that's just me. Um, Now, some of the things that I've got to do, for example, I got to double check if this is supposed to be black or if it's supposed to be gray. I don't remember offhand, and the problem is that if it's supposed to be black, I need to make it rich black. Rich black is a combination of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, so that when it prints out in CMYK, it will it won't be a pale black, or I'm not sure how else to describe it, but let's see. Excuse me. Edit contents. So I'm going to have I'm going to bring it up in Illustrator to double check my settings. I think I'm going to put on some music. Royalty-free music, because I don't want to get in any trouble. Kill myself. Kill myself. Slip my wrist. Slip my wrist. Oh wow, that's a bit loud. So I'm going to bring it down just so it's in the background. And do you have a playlist? bright music. Sad music. Let's do cinematic music. So this is going to be playing in the background, and oh wow, that's loud. Okay. So here we are in Illustrator. This is a design that I created for my sister, who my nephew is slightly autistic, but she has gotten very active in the autism awareness. Uh, so she asked me to make this graphic for her, and so she can give it to friends, or I think she's just giving it away. I'm not sure if she's going to be selling it, or if she's going to be just giving it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. So let's see. Stroke. Okay, so that is 90% gray. Although I am going. Do I want to? What happens if I make this black? Now, what you're seeing on screen is RGB, red, a combination of red, green, and blue. That's there are two different kinds of color mixtures. If you're dealing with light, like in a television monitor or computer monitor, or if you're dealing in if you're dealing with pigments. When your printer uses inks, it uses a combination of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and that creates a wide array of colors. RGB, which is what you see on your screen, is a combination of red, blue, and green. That the colors tend to be more vibrant, tend to be brighter. But what you see on the screen is not what you're going to see printed out. In my experience, I work at a print shop. When we print something out, it always turns out darker than what you see on the screen, and we warn our customers, hey, this is going to print out darker, and usually they're okay with it, but sometimes they're like, this isn't what I wanted. This is what I was expecting. So what we wind up doing in those cases is when someone sends us artwork, we have them take a look at a physical printed version of it. That way they know what they're getting. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I want to go into color, and since I'm making this stroke black, I'm gonna use what's called rich black, which is a combination of 40% cyan, 30% magenta, 30% yellow, and 10% black. And now, when I print it out, the black won't be faded. It's going to have the cyan, magenta, and yellow to back it up. And I need to do the same with where are my layers? With that. Not 60, 40, 30, 30. This is interesting music. All right, so I can see now by the way, when I print it out, this circle is exactly what's going to be printing out. This circle, I have a very my template for when I print out when I print things out. The the circle that the punch it has to be specific. It has to be very precise. Um, if I Depending on the design, if I'm a little off, it's going to be very noticeable. Um, I've done that before. I've been careless and punched uh, quite a bit off, especially when I was first starting out, and the graphic was noticeably off center. So you know something, I don't have my Discord up. Uh, I should add. I'm still developing this channel, so I need to um, to add those panels that you see down in the doobly doo. Um, so ooh, root silent partner. Huh, cute. All right, so I can get out of I can get out of Illustrator now for the time being. All right. So this is my preview. This is um, I have the button, the background of the button masked out. Right over here is a layer mask, and this is what is it called? Uh, this layer is using this layer to uh, to to say whether or not this area will be shown. So if I turn off the layer mask here, oops, you can see that this area is being masked. Um, and so when I show people a preview of this, I don't want them to see what's going to go over the edge of the button. So I have that mask enabled. The preview up here are these effects where it looks like it's a three-dimensional button, and it also has my watermark. So if I turn both of those off, this is what's going to get printed. Now, like I said, what you see on the screen is not exactly what you're going to is not exactly what's going to be printed out. And I have Veritech. Hey Veritech, how you doing? Well, it would appear that I goofed on something. So, anyways, no, I'm not going to show you my my stream key. So, where was I? Oh yes, I was working in Photoshop. So what I need to do is I need to set up a few layers to lighten this. I recognize this music. Oh yes, Veritech, I see. Doom, doom, doomity doom. Alright, so let's set up a new folder, and let's call it adjustments. I'm going to set up some adjustment layers on this. So a new... You can't hear your music? The music? That's weird. Here, let me try turning it up, see if... Can you hear it now? Yes, no, maybe. Oh, there's a delay. It's quite loud for me, so I'm going to turn down the volume on my headphones. Is it? Do you think it's too loud? Okay. How about now? Alright, well, let's continue on. So I'm going to make an adjustment layer. I'm going to use the brightness contrast. Okay. Properties. So I'm going to turn up the brightness a little bit. I'm going to call this layer 10%. Actually, I'm going to set up another one called 5% bright. So Veritech, it would appear that I can't stream, I cannot stream Minecraft on this computer. The frame rate drops dramatically. It's just a matter of that. It's look how old the computer is. It's a 4-year-old computer, so doing something like this isn't as graphically intensive. So, but Minecraft, it's a little bit more intensive. I'd probably have to play something that's less demanding, like FTL or something like that. No biggie. All right, so this one is going to be called 5% bright. Dude, don't start with the puns. That job is mine. Alright, another layer style. And this time we're going to go 15. % bright. And these will be, these I'll have to import into my template. So next time I want to use or make one, I can actually do the. I can figure out where which version I want to use, which brightness. And next is 20%. This is Creative Cloud. It is the newest version of Photoshop. I figured if I want to keep up with the Joneses, I might as well do it. Although, if you're looking to do anything graphically, I mean, I used 5.5 for the longest time. I started. I remember when Creative Suite was a new thing. So whatever the tools get better, but if you're looking to do stuff, I could I think that anything like CS5 and would be a good is a good suite to use. Um, I think some of the tweaks um, are stuff that I wouldn't necessarily use a lot of, or I'm not sure what tweaks were new with this. I can't think of any off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've researched it. So, all right. So now I have a whole bunch of these channels set up. So when I export this into InDesign, I'll be able to say, okay, this one will use this adjustment layer. The next one will use this adjustment layer. The next one, this one, so on, so on and so forth. And you know something, I think I can also do a set of dark ones. Thanks, Tech. Unfortunately, you and the Mighty Heifer are probably going to be the only ones who are going to watch this, at least for right now. Um, Doop de doo. So, you know something? I'm going to open up my template, since I was just saying that I wanted to import these into the template. And just drop these in. And then bring this back, dock it again. So now I'm going to save. And here is my template. So yeah, you can visit me at facebook.com/bigredbutton06010. That's my zip code. Figure out where I live on your own. So, as you can see in this version of the oh, I gotta figure out how to keep that from popping up, because that can be embarrassing. So in this version of the template, this is I have the adjustments layer, which I just showed you. You have the preview layer, which has the 3D effect and the and my branding. You've got printing guidelines, so when I'm designing, I can say, okay, this is my bleed line. This is where the artwork extends to, and anything from the green line to the red line is going to be overage. So on some designs, if I print it and it's not centered, it as long as I have some bleed, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Between the red line is going to be the edge of the button, and the blue line is my margin. That's my safe area. So if I have to make sure that my design is within the blue area in order to make sure that it doesn't that anything important doesn't get cut off. If you can see in this, I deleted the I apparently deleted the those layers. Oh well. But let me bring up a different button so I can show you what I'm talking about. Open Sesame. Okay, so this is a button that I designed for a friend. As you can see, so let me turn off this layer. Um, so the what's important is this ribbon. I want to make sure that this ribbon isn't going to get chopped off. So I want it to be within this blue area. This red area, as you saw in the preview, is where the edge of the button is, and the and this area between the red and the green is what wraps around, and you can see the oops. Oh, come on. So you can see that this is what we'll be printing out, is this entire area. So when I print it out, it's going to that this area is going to wrap around the edge of the button. Now, this is called a bleed. I think I might have mentioned that before. When you're doing any design work, you want to be aware of how much bleed and how much margin your printer is going to need. Most printers will ask for an eighth of an inch on each side. So if you're doing a business card, which is 2 inches by 3.5 inches, you want your artwork to be so that would be 2.25 inches by 3.75 inches. The business card will still only be basically the center 2 by 3.5, but you'll have color that extends past the edge of the card, so you don't have slivers of white on the edges. You'll also want it to be. They'll also ask you for it to be like a 1/16 or an eighth of an inch away from the edge, any necessary text. So you'll give it a good margin to ensure that if things shift a little bit, nothing gets cut off. Believe me, I've seen people's cards where they don't know what they're doing and they set it up, and we go to print it and it just doesn't work. But some customers don't care. So anyways, so that's that button. Of course, I just closed that, and I could transfer over those adjustment layers. Oops, I didn't want to. I want to redock that. All right, so move adjustments under proof. Under preview. So that's what the printing guidelines are just guidelines for where my artwork is going to fall. Preview. Why is this not? Oh, that's why. Because that layers. So the Celtic flower layer is just a bunch of different colors with effects on them. So if I'm, for example, if I select the gold, and let me select my pencil, let me bring up the size of the pencil. You can see that it looks like it's a gold effect. When I was making Celtic flowers, I used this in order to make certain parts look gold and certain parts look stone. Let me it has kind of a stone texture to it. So that's what the Celtic flower folder is. And then the artwork. Oh, the artwork folder has the stuff that's going to be on the card or on the button. And And there's also the tagline. Now the tagline rests just past the edge where the button wraps, the button artwork wraps around the edge, but before it tucks into the back of the button. And some people put like their website and or a secret phrase around the edge. It's a nice, neat little trick. In fact, I should be doing that for branding buttons that don't actually require it. I could say created by Big Red Button. And the proof layer is it just covers up the artwork so that no one can take my artwork and then share it elsewhere, or they don't take it and actually print their own buttons. It's a security measure. I don't use it very often, especially since I share a lot of my stuff on Facebook. But it's a precaution. I wanted to have that layer just to have an option. Now I do almost all my stuff here in Photoshop, just because I can get these layer styles. But if you're doing something like this, you can use Illustrator. Illustrator is a great program. In fact, I did this ribbon in Illustrator. It took me a while because I couldn't get the flames just the way I wanted them, but the customer was happy with this. So let's close out of here. And this is all set, so I'm going to save it. Actually, I'm going to reopen that ribbon button because I'm going to want to hide. If I hide this layer, it's gonna disappear. So I'm just gonna turn off the layer mask, and I'm gonna turn off the preview layer. So now when I export this in InDesign, I won't have that 3D effect, and I won't have it's not going to be cropped to that edge of the button. It's going to extend to into the bleed to my cut line. So let's save that. So I'm gonna make a button. Veritech, do you have a request for me to any designs for buttons? I'm actually gonna move this over because I'm gonna go into my email. I don't want you to see see my email. Let's see. I had an idea for. Have you ever parted the Red Sea? That was a request. I'm going to mark that as unread for now. Invoice for buttons. Button ideas. Stand with your butt facing north. That's something that. Oh, that's something that my singing group says all the time. That was their way of remembering how to sing a specific part. I do need to make some buttons for the singing group that I'm part of. We're going to be selling them at the Midsummer Fantasy Renaissance Festival, or fair. This one's a fair, not a festival. So what I need to do is let me open up Illustrator, and I'm going to need to look up treble heart images, because that seems to be our ooh, I like that one. That seems to be our It's something that we're known for. Is that trouble? The trouble heart.
Did you see my fish tank?
Hold. I will be back in just a couple minutes. Excuse me just a moment.
Yeah, just do it.
And I am back. So yeah, that's my daughter. She has perfect timing. Um, she just wanted me. She wanted me to see that she cleaned her fish tank. So bully for her. All right, so new, and we're going to make this paste. Pasty. Where did it go? It's way up there. Why is it way up there? Why does it always... Okay, so I've got this image, and I am going to do an image trace of it, so I get a nice vector image of it, so I can scale it as big as I want, or I can make it as small as I want. And I'm going to expand that. So now we have this image, and I don't need anything that's white, so I'm going to delete all those so I don't have to deal with them. Now I'm going to paste it into Photoshop. So now it's I'm going to do it as a smart object. Oh, and of course, I forgot that we need to make this rich black. So we're going to pick black, and we'll 40, 30, 30, 100. Oh, and that's the stroke. What a stroke of genius. All right, so now that's black. Copy, paste, smart object. And what a smart object is it retains all of the information for that object. Anything that I do to it is non-destructive. I'm not damaging any of the information in this object, and I can go in and edit the object later. I wish that they had this much sooner. Let's see. So I am going to need a music background image. Let's see what's free out there. I really like this music. I really like having cool background music. This is, hey, at least it's not. At least my stream isn't getting muted um, because there's copyrighted music. Okay, so now we have our texture. So I'm going to paste that right there. I'm going to enlarge it. And I'm going to mask it. What is that called? That's going to drive me nuts. I'm already nuts. I don't want to be more nuts. Oh well. I guess I'll never know. So Veritek, I'm surprised that you're not, watching something else. That you're sitting here and listening to me ramble on about making buttons. All right, so this smart object goes in this layer, and I'm going to do some modifications. I want to give this a drop shadow so that it has some distance. I'm going to turn up the opacity. Actually, I'm going to go to the voices group or Facebook page, and I had. I wish I knew where those files were. Let's see if I can find them. Design projects. Voices. Okay. So I did use this. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, let me get out of the layer style for now. I'm going to bring this in. I really liked this background, so ooh. So we're going to bring those in here. And this is not. Why doesn't that look right? Let me open that back up again. That's normal. Group 1.
Are you still streaming?
Yes, I'm still streaming.
Do I see my taped ladybug? Say hi to all your viewers. I taped the ladybug.
Why'd you tape the ladybug?
But he was stuck in my carpet and I couldn't get him out. So I taped him.
So, say hi to everybody.
I taped the ladybug to Nick's desk.
Where's OBS?
What's that? Yuck.
So yeah, that's
What the hell what are you doing?
what am I doing?
Yeah, are they seeing me right now?
Yes, they are.
Who is it?
Right now, it's
Do I know them?
this is me.
Okay.
This is a bot that's helping me run the channel. This is another bot that's helping run the channel, and that's Uncle Coco.
Hi, Uncle. Hi, Tony. Hi.
So yeah, this is
Let me guess. The ba is Coco.
yes.
I figured. He said hiya, bruh. No. You don't say that. No. No. What the hell is this thing?
What the hell is what thing?
This stuff.
I'm broadcasting what my design work
Okay.
to people on the internet. So they get to watch me do designs. And Tony said, "Hello."
Hey, look at your ladybug taped to the box, to the desk.
The ladybug is now taped to my desk?
Yes.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm sorry. Bye.
See you later.
Bye. Have fun. I taped the ladybug to the desk.
Oh, this is what I've got to put up with. All right, back to Photoshop. All right, so what is going on here? So that's all right, maybe I should close out of that and just bring the entire thing into that's okay, bro. Bring the entire thing into here. That's better. I'll get rid of that. Yeah, Elizabeth doesn't get she doesn't understand the whole streaming thing, but my yep, you're right. My buddy, the Mighty Heifer, is he's got this really cool setup. He's got 3 monitors, and he's got his game in front of him. He's got all of the chat stuff on the right, and he's got one for browser and whatnot, and Twitter on the left. I really wish I had his setup, but I don't have quite that much money, and I don't do this enough to really warrant doing doing a Kickstarter for it, at least right now. Let me get established. I wanted to go into Twitch. What was it that I wanted to do? I can't remember now. Oh well. Alright, so the color, we want a stroke on this. I want the stroke to be on the outside. That's actually good. We're going to do a drop shadow on it. Happy little drop shadow. Veritech, did you know that you can, that they have, on Mondays, they stream Bob Ross on Twitch? Like, all day. They'll have Bob Ross playing. It's hilarious. Alright, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let me turn on my printing guidelines so I know how big I can make this. Actually, right there is good. Nice and centered. Printing guidelines off. Alright, this is ready to be saved. Twitch has just proposed, has just announced that they're going to do an all cooking channel, and to commemorate it, they're doing a 24-hour Julia Child marathon. I thought that was interesting. Okay, so buttons. Let's make a new folder. The voices. I'm going to call this the Clefheart version 1. Oh god, I wish we could do Good Eats. Alright, so I'm also going to do an 800 by 800 version in JPEG just for the web. Save. And that one's done. Dinner's done, dude. Or dishes are done, dude. That's an old movie. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Alright, so the next one I want to do is... actually, I want to go back into... I want to bring this in. We are no longer the voices of An Lee. We are just the voices. Actually, I'm going to have to bring this in like that. Although I'm going to bring in... Oops. I'm going to bring in these layers, because I like that texture. I'm going to dock that. don't want that to be that layer. I want it to be masked by that layer. Alright, so let's make sure that this is big enough for... There we go. And how does the voices look? Alright. Copy image. Alright, paste. So this is what... undo. Undo. So this is one that I made, but unfortunately I can't find the files. I think they were on my old hard drive, and they've since gotten eaten by corruption. So, but this is what I want to recreate. So let me move this over, and let's resize it. Oh. That's weird. When I move it, okay. Oops. I wish I could make buttons like that. Unfortunately, it's just a matter of I can't even get the I can't get the button, the smaller button maker. At least not yet. I've got a couple design jobs that I think I'm going to use to get the button maker that I want. All right, so instead of an outer glow, actually we're going to keep the outer glow. We're going to change it to a to shadow instead. We're going to multiply. We're going to do the brown, like a brown. Nope, like a burn. So instead of, in fact, instead of overlay, we're going to do color burn. No, that does a little yellow. I don't want it to be yellow. I want it to be a reddish. Alright, so, alright. Let's try a linear burn. Okay. Not exactly what I was looking for. Let's bring up some brown. Let's change the opacity. Let's add a little bit of noise just to do stroke on the outside, around the outside, around the outside. In fact, I'm going to I'm going to do exactly what the picture showed. I'm going to do the color overlay as white. In fact, I'm going to do a gradient overlay instead. And that's going to be from a beige to a brown. Reverse. Reverse, reverse. Alright, and we're going to do a drop shadow. Just to give it a little bit of depth. Spread it. Got the opacity. And we're also going to do a inner glow. How will that look? Let's change the shape. This is really weird music. I think I'm going to leave it as that. Bring down the size a little bit. This is such funky music. Okay, I think that layer is good. So we're gonna copy it to the other one. Let's try reversing that. Veritech, you have problems. Ooh, I think that'll work better. In fact, I'm going to copy that back down here. And instead of this one is called Monkey Spinning Monkeys. Oh, you know something? I think instead of that... Alright, let's get rid of that. I'm going to bring back... Let's save this as something else. Device this button. Alright, so I want to open up Clef Heart. So I'm going to take this background that I really, really like. And we're going to... Let's get rid of the gradient overlay. No, that's... Alright, that's not going to work. Let's get rid of that. No, let's not get rid of that, because I'm going to need it. Warrior Strife by Jingle Punks. That's the current music. Excuse me. It's only 9:15. I shouldn't be tired. Alright, so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Because I want this to have some sort of texture. So instead of doing that, let's give it... Let's multiply this. Alright, let's duplicate that layer. And instead of doing a screen, we're just going to set it to normal. We're going to do that mask. We're going to turn on the gradient overlay again, but we're going to set it to some sort of transparency, like multiply. Oh, that works. That looks a lot better. So width. Just that little texture makes it look so much better. So we're going to duplicate that. We're going to do the same thing here. What is it called when it does that? I can't. That is going to drive me nuts. Cool. All right, so that works. Now I'm going to take... I'm going to go into my previews. Alright, I'm going to take both of those. I'm going to duplicate them because I want this to say where people can find our music. I don't think there's anything else to this. Nope. Go away, Facebook notice. Alright, so I'm going to move those here, and instead of big red button, it's going to be the voices of MFRF. I wonder if I'm able to... Sometimes this is case sensitive, and I'd really like it. I'd really like to be able to capitalize these if possible. Do some capitalization. That way it looks better. MFRF. Survey says... Yes, that works. Okay. So I can capitalize some of these letters, and it's still going to work. Voices of MFRF. Now, we just started a Twitter. So I've got to look up the Twitter. Our Twitter. Twitter. No, not Twitch. Oh, turn off my my touchpad. It activates every time that every time I turn my computer on. So, all right. So Twitter. Let's look up. So, Veritech, are you highly entertained yet? Computer. There we go. So we're going to search Twitter for MFRF. How about voices? MFRF. There we go. So we are also at the voices of MFRF. Let's just make sure that that works. And yes, it does. Okay, cool. All right, now I really should use Twitter more often. Oh, we have 6 followers. Oh, well. All right, so let's see. Did she say we have an Instagram? Instagram. In fact, I'm going to send her a text right now. Boom, 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 boom. Instagram. Oh, you need to be a member of Instagram to search Instagram, huh? Okay, so we do have a an Instagram and a Twitter, and I don't have the icons for either of those. So Instagram logo. Now the brand usage tend to say that. All right, have a good night, Veritech. Ciao. Um, so certain companies require you to have specific to keep specific colors. We are going to do a high res. I have blah 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 blah.